morning, and thank you for joining us for our weekly press conference. I'm glad you joined us today on this 7th day of March to learn more about the tremendous projects and enhancements in store for the City of Erie. Today, we'll hear an update about an exciting project called 12th Street Reimagined, which aims to revitalize the 12th Street corridor between I-79 and Cherry Street, and that's one of our biggest gateways into downtown Erie. But first, I want to again remind you about an exciting event that's just 31 days away, and that is the total solar eclipse on Monday, April the 8th. During the solar eclipse, the moon will begin to gradually block the sun around 2:02 p.m. on April 8th, with the total eclipse taking place between 3:16 p.m. and 3:20 p.m., turning day into night and dropping the temperature approximately 10 degrees. Slowly, as the moon continues its path across the sun, the sky will return to normal at approximately 4:30 p.m. The City of Erie is the only city in Pennsylvania that will be in the path of totality for the eclipse. According to crowd numbers estimates from GreatAmericanEclipses.com, Pennsylvania could see as many as 56,000 to 200,000 out-of-path visitations on Eclipse Day, with the majority of that traffic expected to travel north here to Erie. To predict how many people will visit the path of totality and the resulting traffic congestion, analysts use some advanced mapping software, U.S. Census data, and a road network model for every street to study how the U.S. population is distributed within the road network and the path of the eclipse. There are several organizations planning for the expected influx of visitors and subsequent traffic, including City of Erie government, police and fire, and public works. This planning is critical because other cities that had total eclipses have told us they experienced up to 12 hours of traffic congestion once the eclipse ends and the visitors leave the area. With all the traffic that is expected, we are asking Erie residents to please plan ahead and stay at home and off the roads on Monday, April 8th. As we get closer to April 8th, please consider where the sun will be in the sky at 3:16 p.m. to decide on a good viewing location. Note, the sun will be high in the sky to the west, not over the bay. Depending on the location of your home, the best viewing location may be from your yard or somewhere within walking distance from your home. We encourage you to plan accordingly and limit unnecessary travel downtown and on the state routes and interstates on April 8th. For real-time traffic, visit the www.511pa.com website or download the mobile app. PennDOT will be putting up message boards on highways that lead to Erie in advance and during the eclipse. These message boards will inform motorists of the April 8th eclipse date and warn about possible heavy traffic. They will also include safety measures such as remember to use your headlights during the eclipse and do not stop on shoulders or in the middle of the road to watch the eclipse. If you have any appointments downtown or on the bayfront that day, it would be a good idea to reschedule them. Make sure you have adequate groceries and prescriptions so you don't have to fight traffic to go to the store or pharmacy on April 8th. On the day of the eclipse, Erie's public schools are closed, as are many other schools throughout Erie County. Make sure you know where your children are at the time of the eclipse and are equipped to view the eclipse safely with ISO-certified eclipse glasses only. Don't look at the sun. For more information about the total eclipse, please visit the Visit Erie website at www.visiterie.com. Now, we'd like to give you an update on the 12th Street Reimagined study, which is being funded through a $125,000 Keystone Communities grant. The grant enables us to find ways to make that corridor between I-79 and Cherry Street more inviting and more functional. A big part of the invite is to develop a detailed strategic plan that lays out the vision and the action steps necessary to make the revitalization of West 12th Street corridor a reality for us. City of Erie Communications Director Rob Lee will now tell us much more about this. Rob, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mayor Schember. This spring, the City of Erie invites residents, business owners, and others with an interest in the 12th Street corridor to take part in crafting a vision for the area's continued enhancement. The official kickoff of the 12th Street Reimagined plan marks the launch of an effort to engage the public and stakeholders in developing a market-supported land use and transportation strategies for the area west of 12th Street between I-79 interchange and Cherry Street. The plan will examine reuse opportunities for critical sites and establish action steps for making the corridor more inviting and functional for new development and redevelopment, as well as ensuring that the roadway is designed to meet the current and future needs of all users. The first public engagement event for the project will take place on Wednesday, March 27th at 10 a.m. at the Haggerty Family Event Center, 501 West 12th Street in Erie. At this event, the project team will present preliminary market research findings as a framework to consider potential future land uses and redevelopment concepts. A second public event planned for May will take the form of a design charrette, and that's a participatory planning process, inviting the community to respond to and shape vision scenarios for the corridor and target locations. Details will be shared as the project advances on the city's website at cityof.erie.pa.us/12 Street Project. The corridor was identified as a core area within Erie Refocused, the City of Erie's comprehensive plan. Industrial site investments by Erie County Redevelopment Authority and new developments proposed closer to downtown make this an optimal time to establish and advance a community-supported vision. As Erie Refocused notes, for 12th Street to be transformed over the next 10 years, businesses need to be attracted to the character of the location itself. Great connections to downtown, interesting building stock, a cool streetscape, but also by incentives that make this corridor extremely compelling from a cost standpoint. With support from city staff, Erie County, and partner agencies, a consultant team will guide an appointed steering committee through internal workshops, conduct public events, interviews, focus groups, and other outreach to gather local perspectives. They'll collect and analyze data, examine target sites, and review ordinances. The work will result in a reality-rooted plan that establishes a vision, goals, transportation improvements, and a future land use scenario, along with an implementation and funding plan. The project is scheduled for completion in June. Overall coordination and expertise on land use and aesthetics will be led by Pashik MTR, a Pittsburgh-based landscaping architecture and community planning studio. Fourth Economy, a national community and economic development consulting firm, will contribute market analysis and development insight. And Whitman, Requart and Associates, a nationally recognized multidisciplinary engineering firm, will lead transportation in that component. In the 12th Street Reimagined plan, it's been made possible by the Federal Highway Administration Transportation Planning Grant administered by the Erie Metropolitan Planning Organization. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rob. That was very good. Rob does most of the work related to putting this program on every Thursday morning. I think that might be the first real presentation, but he did a good job, didn't he? You agree with me? Very good. So, yes, almost got a round of applause for that. It's incredible how much 12th Street has changed from when I was a kid. Back then, 12th Street was covered with good paying businesses. In 1970, I got my first job ever at 12th and Raspberry, right near that corner. I made enough in one summer to pay for my fall and spring semesters at Gannon. And I loved the job so much, I stayed on part-time when I got back to Gannon. But 12th Street has changed immensely since then. It's very important to do careful analysis of areas such as West 12th Street corridor now to ensure we're coming up with a realistic, cost-effective, and meaningful use that makes sense for residents and businesses who choose to call Erie the home. We are excited to embark on this process, and we look forward to everyone's input. We would also like to remind everyone that this Sunday is the start of Ramadan. Ramadan is the 9th month of the Muslim calendar and is one of the most sacred times for Muslims. It is the month in which it is believed that the Holy Quran was sent down from heaven. During this month, Muslims are devoted to prayer and observe a fast from dawn until sunset, unless it is medically not advised. They are not allowed to eat or drink even water during the daylight hours. This act of worship is a form of spiritual discipline and a way to empathize with the less fortunate. To all of our Muslim residents, families, and friends in Erie and beyond, may this Ramadan be filled with peace, joy, and spiritual growth for you and your loved ones. May your fasting and prayers bring you closer to God, and may your heart be filled with gratitude and kindness. All of us at City Hall wish you strength to observe the fast with sincerity and patience. We pray that your acts of charity and compassion bring light into the lives of those around you. We all say to you, Ramadan Mubarak, which translates into, have a blessed Ramadan. Also, please remember that on Sunday, March 10th, this coming Sunday, daylight savings time begins at 2 a.m. That means that each of us should move our clocks forward 1 hour before going to bed this Saturday. Although we lose an hour of sleep, the sun will rise and set an hour later, which means we'll have more daylight to enjoy all the wonderful things that Erie has to offer us. It is also going to impact where the sun will be in the sky for the eclipse. That concludes this week's press conference. Please follow us on social media for the latest updates on everything happening here in the city of Erie. Thanks very much for watching and being with us today. We appreciate it.